37 games gone, just one still to play. This season's Premier League campaign has had everything, from delight to despair and back again. It's turned one way and then the other, and as we enter the final weekend, the title could still be heading to Liverpool. The final day of the Premier League season is here, and the Reds could still be crowned champions by the close of play. Yes, 29 years of hurt, 29 years of longing could be brought to an end this afternoon. It is still in Man City's hands, it is still theirs to lose, but if last week has taught us anything, then it's simply to never give up.
I think the people from outside, they doubt us, they thought that we couldn't do it, but once again we showed that everything is possible in football. We believed it from the start that we could win 4-0.
We believed, as many people wrote us off. In that change room we believed that we got off to a good start, that we could do it, and we got the goal, Timo scores the goal, and then the rest is history. We go into Sunday full of energy now, and look at us, look, it's out of our hands, but we've seen stranger things happen here, haven't we? So think about Wolves tomorrow.
There's hope in this one, and it's football. Creating an atmosphere, using an atmosphere, celebrate the situation with good football.
Thousands out in force at Anfield today, they all believe the miracle is possible. Can they and this famous stadium help cause one last shock in this incredible race for the title? Afternoon. How are your nerves? Yeah, the day is finally here. Liverpool looking to claim the title for the first time since 1990. Gary Gillespie, one of the boys who got the job done that day, is here. Gary, how are your nerves just now? How will the players be feeling in this position?
Well, I'm fine just now. I think you can sense that it's a really important game. Just walking up to the stadium, I think you get that sort of atmosphere outside the ground. So heaven knows what it's like in the dressing room. I think they will be nervous. I think we talk about it, the build-up, and maybe like 5 games or 6 games to go. I didn't think there should be any nerves with that. But now you come down to this sort of like pressure in this sort of game. Must win, and then obviously pray to God that Brighton do us a favour. So I think there'll be a few nerves within the dressing room. But they've handled that all season, to be honest with you, and they're more than capable of getting a result here today.
It's been an incredible season by both of these sides. When we look at the Premier League table, just a point between them, Liverpool have only lost 1 game. The points tally is already enough to have won the league in 111 of the previous 119 championships. It has been remarkable regardless of what happens this afternoon.
I think the standard has been absolutely phenomenal, and I think you've got to give Man City a little bit of credit because they have set the bar. They set the bar last season, and they haven't fallen far below that this season again. And it was whether like any team could hang on to their coattails. That team has obviously been Liverpool, and it's been a fantastic season regardless of Liverpool going to win the Premier League. I think it's something that we can really build for the future. This squad of players is a young squad, and I think that the future is good for us. But obviously we'd like to get the job done. But no, it's been a remarkable season. I think when you look at strength and depth of the Premier League as well, when you look at Tottenham in a semi-final, a final for Champions League, both Arsenal and Chelsea in final of the Europa League. So I think that suggests that the Premier League's pretty strong at this moment in time. But the two teams that have been set apart have certainly been Man City and Liverpool.
Obviously everyone is expecting City to get the job done. It's in their own hands. They can see this one out. But can we make a case for it not happening? Look at something like 1989. Liverpool were home here, They knew it was in their own hands. Everyone expected them to get it done, and you boys couldn't quite. Is there a case it could happen today?
Always a case in football. Any sport that you play, there's always the possibility of upsets, and it would be a massive upset that Brighton were to get a result against Man City. But as you rightly said, Mark, it can happen. I was unfortunately here in '89 when who would have thought that Arsenal could have come here and won 2-0 with the form that we had been in and the quality of the side that we had. But that's sport, that's football. I think Jürgen Klopp made that announcement before the Barcelona game as well. Yes, it's highly unlikely we would win 4-0 and go through, but look what happened. So there's always something to cling on to in this game.
Yeah, there certainly is, and we'll certainly be doing that for every minute of the 90 here today. OK, well, Jürgen Klopp's pre-match team talk helps turn the balance in our favour on Tuesday night. What will he have up his sleeve today? Peter McDowell is in the Liverpool dressing room just now, taking in the calm before the storm that will almost certainly be on the way come 3 p.m.
Welcome inside at Matchday Live, undercover the players and officials' entrance. Well, they will come through very, very soon indeed. It's quite a busy period now. And this is where the players will filter through later. What kind of atmosphere will be going on in the players' canteen? It was a scene of disbelief the other night after the win over Barcelona. Normally players would have headphones on in there, but there were no headphones the other night. It was just a scene of disbelief. This is where the players were filtering through what we call the mix zone the other night. They would stop for people to do interviews, and this is where Philippe Coutinho in tears and Luis Suarez stopped to wish those Liverpool players, so many of them their teammates, all the very best for the final as well. The players' walk is this way, through to the changing rooms, and a quote that Jürgen Klopp made fairly famous that they might just stop and have a cursory look at. This is a place for big football moments. How big could the moment be? Don't forget this lead at the top of the table has swapped places 32 times already this season. If it swaps to a 33rd time, it would be very dramatic. One Liverpool player will turn this way to do what they call a flash interview. 3 questions about the title race, and there will be particular attention on this number here. 18 league titles that Liverpool have currently. Could that number change come 4:45 tonight? All the tours are still going on, so we'll filter our way past there and go into the Liverpool changing room. Excuse me, sir. And the squad that will be on duty a little bit later. This was the place that was a scene of such celebration the other night. This is where they can calm themselves and get ready for the job in hand and be amongst teammates that they know have their back, know that have come up with so many big moments this year. How big a moment for this number 11 who declared himself fit at Melwood when we gave him the Player of the Month award the other night. Worth remembering too that the last time Liverpool lost here was in 1989 on the final day of the season. Arsenal winning 2-0 and the title going where they didn't expect it in very dramatic circumstance. Will there be another dramatic circumstance with a slightly happier ending?
Yeah, the mood inside that dressing room crucial today. The mood throughout this stadium vital this afternoon. Who better to go gauge the excitement amongst the fans today than the most excitable supporter we know? Well, aside from Aldo, Jason McAteer will join us pitchside shortly. But right now, he's over with Rob Jones.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Don't know what you mean about Jason McAteer being excitable. He is calm, he is measured, cool, relaxed, right?
That's on the outside. Yeah, I mean, I said to you the other night, Rob, it would have been so different had we only drawn against Newcastle, seen Manchester City obviously win, and then we'd been knocked out of the Champions League. I think we would have been coming here today, all would have been an anti-climax, it would have been flat. And I don't really think the lads would have got the credit that they really deserve for the season that they've given us. It's been absolutely phenomenal. The roller coaster we've been on since May has been absolutely brilliant, and I'm so glad that they've actually took it to the final day of the season. And obviously, you know, from the other night, the excitement's still here. There's still a buzz around the place, and there's still that belief.
Just want to pick you up on one of the words I remember you using last week after the Newcastle game. You said, we're so proud of them. Yeah. And that is the case, because you can look through things, and if Liverpool comes second, then there will be the odd result, which they will argue they might have done better in. But effort-wise, you cannot have asked of one more ounce or bead of sweat from them through the course of this season.
They've answered every question that's been thrown at them, and, you know, when I was thinking about, you know, these two teams have been absolutely phenomenal. You've got to give Manchester City credit. You know, they've amassed, if they win, obviously, today, it would have been 198 points over 2 seasons. That's just phenomenal. You know, and to get close to a team like that is, you know, well, it's just brilliant. But it's so sad not to get over the line, because what you've achieved yourselves, as in us, has been different class. But we should be proud of them. What they've done. Like I said, they've answered every question, whether it's coming back from European games, whether it's an adverse result, they've had to then go again. The tiredness, the squad, the injuries, the disappointment, losing players at crucial times. You just take Barcelona the other night, for instance. No Firmino, no Salah. Robinson half-time going off. The odds were stacked up against us, but we come back time and time and time again. And it not just epitomises the players, but epitomises the football club and what the fans mean, to us, and how we all muck in together and how we all produce results together.
The manager is very much judged or remembered by some of his famous quotes, and I suppose one of them for all of these people behind us at the moment, you've got to say the doubters now believe, don't they?
Yeah, they do, but I think Jürgen will always be questioned until he actually wins something. I mean, for me, it's been phenomenal since he's been here. He's turned the football club upside down. From where we were from the day he walked in to where we are now. You've got to give him credit for that. The foundations of this football club moving forward are solid. We can see where we're going. Can we see what he's trying to do? The football club outside of the playing arena is strong. From the partnership side of the club, where it's just really, really healthy. Everyone's working to produce positive results on the pitch, and that's what the team's given us, and that's down to the manager. And I just hope today goes our way, but if it doesn't, we get over the line in the Champions League, because he deserves a trophy.
More from Jason in just a moment, but for now, let's head out and about with Samashu.
Oh, thanks very much indeed, Rob. Yeah, we've been here since about 8 o'clock this morning, and this place has been absolutely buzzing, and it certainly is now. Terry, take us through the emotions of a day like today.
It's unbelievable. It's really hard to explain it. Just as you're walking up the road, it's just your hair starts standing on your head. It's just amazing. It's just, I can't explain it.
It's all about belief, isn't it? We saw the belief on Tuesday night. The You'll Never Walk Alone was a special one.
Yeah.
These fans will believe again today, won't they?
Oh, always, yeah, definitely. Always believe. They never stop believing. You can't. You've got to have so much faith in your team, and yeah, it's just amazing.
And of course, we're hoping for a little favour from Brighton as well, aren't we? Is it a case of checking the phone, refreshing the Twitter during the game?
Oh yeah, I've got my phone on all the time, checking the scores. Definitely, whilst it's mathematically possible, you're always going to believe, aren't you? Look at last time with Man City beating United at that split second. We're kind of hoping they'll do the same thing for us, the other side, and fingers crossed. As long as we can beat Wolves, because they're a hard team to beat at the moment. So, but I reckon we can do it. We've got the team to do it. Look what we did to Barcelona. So, if we can do it to Barcelona, we can definitely do it to Wolves.
Exactly, that is the message, isn't it? If we can do it against Barcelona, anything is possible at this football club. Fingers crossed.
Just in terms of the belief of the supporters, Jason, there was a sense that everyone did think that there was something special potentially happening on Tuesday night. Does that change at all today, because part of it isn't in Liverpool's hands?
In some way, it's slightly easier for Liverpool today. I don't know how the fans would feel about that. I mean, the expectation's there, and they are going to feed off that energy from the other night. Of course they are. And like you mentioned before, earlier on, miracles, they do happen. So we're looking for another one today. I don't know whether that's a little bit greedy, but I'll take it if it's going to be offered to us. But I think in some ways it's easier for Liverpool today, because it's like a free hit. If they win, then it's down to Brighton to help us out. The pressure really is on Manchester City. They know they've got to win. Obviously, we know we've got to win, but if we don't and they win, then we give it our all, and we've done what we can. So it's kind of a bit easier for us today, I would say.
More to come from Jason McAteer as we count down to kick-off here at Anfield, as Liverpool take on Wolves, needing a win to have any chance, of course, of lifting the Premier League title come 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Great stuff, guys. Plenty more to come from the fellas outside, and from Gary as well. We'll take a short break just now. When we return, we'll cast our mind back to that incredible night on Tuesday when the Reds somehow beat Barca. We're back soon.
Get all the best build-up and reaction to every Liverpool game right here on LFC TV. Sue Smith goes behind the scenes to bring you the very latest from the Liverpool FC women's team.
Experience exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Liverpool's home games from the latest editions of Inside Anfield.
We take a closer look at some of the Reds' most memorable and significant European encounters in European classics.
The Academy returns to your screens with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at one of the most celebrated youth setups in football.
There's lots to be excited about in the month of May, here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go.
The sun's shining on Merseyside, the fans out in force. No Roberto Firmino, but supporters are still confident they can get the victory today, and the title could be heading back here to Anfield. OK, this isn't the first big game this stadium has staged this week. Tuesday night was pretty special. Here's a reminder of how things panned out against Barcelona.
Henderson, still Henderson, saved by the goalkeeper, and in by Divock Origi, and Liverpool have scored early. This is Jordi Alba, man arriving is Messi, super stop by Alisson, Andrew Robertson, Milner outside, deflection on the shot, Jordi Alba makes the run, it's a wonderful save again from Alisson, trying to force it but won it back brilliantly. Now then, Mane's in the middle, there's not much else to aim for. Now there is, it's in! It's Gini Wijnaldum for Liverpool! He's caught in a beauty! Shaqiri, Wijnaldum! Oh my goodness gracious me! The unthinkable! The unbelievable! Liverpool are level from 3 down against Barcelona! The raw emotion of what's going on in this game. Early goal, Origi! Liverpool gets it! What a piece of quick thinking from Trent Alexander-Arnold! And Divock Origi has 2, and Liverpool have 4, and they are on the precipice of the greatest night of European Champions League football that Anfield has ever seen! Liverpool are heading to the Champions League final once again!
Well, Gary, we heard you on co-coms there. Excitable, I think it's fair to say. Sum up that performance, that result, put it in context for us.
It's difficult to put into words how to sum it up, really. I think it just shows you and it proves again that, you know, sport and especially football has sometimes like the funniest ironies that like really throw up what you never really quite expect. And I think going into that game, I think a lot of Liverpool supporters would have thought that maybe we could have won the game and you know, saved a little bit of face. But to get the 4 goals was absolutely incredible, and it was a real special night. One of the biggest and best special nights I think we've seen at Anfield for a long time.
Gini Wijnaldum got a couple of goals. He tends to deliver in these big games. He's got a bit of a track record of it across the course of his 3 seasons here, and he made a real contribution.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's one of these players that any time that he's left out of the side, I think he's very, very unfortunate to be so. I think coming on, he certainly made a difference. As a substitute, we talk about it regularly in commentary, go on and to have an impact, and he certainly had a massive impact. And these 2 goals early in the second half really were the catalyst for Liverpool to go on and obviously go through. I think we talk about it all the time with John Bradley. Midfield players arriving in the box at the right time is so hard to defend. And Gini Wijnaldum was seen mainly as a holding midfield player for Liverpool since his signing from Newcastle. But you've got to remember as well, when he was at Newcastle, he was very much a forward-thinking midfield player, and that just proved it again in midweek on Tuesday that he can get into that box and he can score goals.
There are a lot of moments we could pick out from that match, but perhaps Trent's quick thinking from the corner for the decisive goal is perhaps one of the most pivotal.
Well, not just the quick thinking, but the belief and confidence to actually do it. It wasn't the best struck corner in the world, to be quite honest with you, but it just catches everybody so unaware. And for a team like Barcelona to have the experienced players that they have at the back, for them to knock off that much it was sinful, to be honest with you. But all credit to young Trent. I think I gave him a little bit of credit to the build-up to that as well, because he actually won the corner for Liverpool, and he was in a position where that's all he could have really got, to be quite fair. And he did it, and I think that just shows you the maturity, then the confidence and the belief to play that early corner. Sometimes that's the difference between winning games and losing games, and certainly was a key fact for us going through to the final.
And he and Andy Robertson both have 11 Premier League assists. That is an incredible statistic and an incredible indication of how this team plays.
Well, I think it's very much the case of modern day football, and it really is epitomised here at Liverpool under Jürgen Klopp. I think we saw at Borussia Dortmund he very much put a lot of faith in his fullbacks, and again you look at the fullbacks that we've got here, very, very attack minded, but both very good defensively as well. And I just think it emphasises really where Liverpool want to attack down that wide area. I think it's at 11, you said 11 each, that's incredible. They don't play like fullbacks anymore, they're more like wingers, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, that's just in the Premier League. One man who we perhaps should mention from Tuesday, Alisson Becker, not the greatest saves he will ever make in his career, but 3, 4, 5 really important stops.
I think when you talk about goalkeepers and making saves and big saves, they don't have to be spectacular saves, they have to be saves at the right time in games, and I think you saw these chances here you're seeing, they're saves that you possibly maybe think the goalkeeper should make, but sometimes they don't make them, and that's what really is the difference. And I think he's been an enormous signing for Liverpool. I mean, the difference he's made, the confidence that he exudes and gives the back four, I think has been exemplary all season. And I think a big credit for him against Barcelona on Tuesday, because, as I say, he made big saves in really important times in the game.
Yeah, he certainly did. OK, we'll kick off drawing ever nearer, the tension and excitement getting ever greater. Let's head back out and join Rob and Jason once again.
Well, Jason and me were both here on Tuesday night, and it was an extraordinary Champions League comeback against Barcelona. I said in our breakfast show earlier, I thought I'd seen it all in that Dortmund game a few years ago, but this was another level stuff, wasn't it?
I don't think anyone's over it, to be honest. I mean, it's been fascinating, and the fallout from it has been even more interesting. The subplot, the Robertson argument with Suarez, the subplot to that, and then the Messi, and then the first leg, and everything that went on before the game. And then for me, there was that personal, watching them walk in, the way they swaggered in, and the atmosphere building lovely. And I was thinking to myself, they don't quite know what to expect. The noise in the stadium when the game kicked off, and then the early goal just set it up absolutely beautifully for the final result. And did I believe they'd go through? Honestly, no. Did I think they'd win the game? Yes. But I'm still walking around with a smile on my face. It's very difficult to put into words. The next day, obviously, as you know, me and Robbie played golf in the British Masters, and we've done a lot of interviews. And even then, the excitement coming out of me was just amazing. It was just a phenomenal evening.
I imagine as a player, when you sit in the dressing room after a win like that, it must be incredibly heartening, because there's no one in your dressing room you can look at and think you didn't do your job. We said it, you called them all heroes on Tuesday night. As that was the case, there was no one who didn't pull their weight in that game. There'll
be no sleep that night, I can tell you. Obviously, the the thing I could link it to was obviously the Newcastle game. I mean, it was on obviously a different level completely, but in similar respects, the way the game was played out, you know, the energy the game had, the excitement, every player doing their bit. You know, there were mistakes that, you know, Liverpool made. You know, Barcelona will probably feel quite unlucky that they didn't put one of them chances they created away, but all in all, you'll look around the dressing room, as you said, and just think, yeah, you did your job, but you'll know deep down that you did your own job, and that's the most fulfilling thing, that you can go home, look yourself in the mirror and think, I played a part in that tonight. And yeah, you can be proud of yourself, and every one of them players can be. They were brilliant. It was just an amazing night, and one of the best nights, if not the best European night or night that Liverpool have ever produced.
Obviously Liverpool-Tottenham in the final, but do you think it's fair to say, given what we've seen in the Premier League this season and in Europe, that there'd be very little question that Liverpool and Manchester City are the best two teams in Europe, if not the best two teams in the world at the moment?
Yeah, you'd have to say that. I mean, you could argue. Well, no, because cup competitions are slightly different. There is that element of luck, I think, in a cup competition. You know, that's to happen for you over two legs. Guardiola quite hasn't got what Klopp's got in that kind of sense. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're not the best team in Europe.
Well, no VAR and City would have gone through, wouldn't they?
Well, exactly, and there's all that to play in. I would say you're right. You know, you've got to look at the points gap between the two teams and the team in third in the Premier League, Tottenham, and you've got to say that they are arguably the best teams in the Premier League, like you said, if not in Europe. So yeah, you've got to give both managers credit for what they've done with the football club. But what I will say is there's a lot of rebuilds to be done over Europe. You think Bayern Munich, Barca from the other night, Real Madrid, you know, Manchester United. So it just goes to show Liverpool what they've done over the last few years is bearing the fruits now, but they're only going to get stronger, which is great.
Jason, thank you very much indeed. Two great teams. Only one can stand tall on this final day. Will it be Liverpool or will it be Manchester City? Build-up continues. Let's head out and about once again and rejoin Sam.
Yeah, Jürgen Klopp described it as one of the great European nights of all time. Pretty hard to disagree with him on that one, isn't it? I've been fortunate enough to bump into some lads that were lucky enough to be there on Tuesday, and of course you're lucky enough to be here as well. Just give us an idea of just what Tuesday was like being in that stadium.
It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever witnessed in my life. At times you stood there and you're like, I can't believe what's going on here. I honestly just couldn't believe it. It was just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Even before kick-off, it was belief, wasn't it?
I mean, for me, especially with Firmino, no Salah, in your heart you're thinking you can do it, but really your head's saying no, and then to go through that, it was just the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
And what was the atmosphere like? Obvious question, I know.
I was at 2005 against Chelsea, and I thought nothing would top that. But that topped it. It was unbelievable. My body's still aching now from it.
And it's hard to sort of comprehend that today, if it goes well, could actually top what happened on Tuesday.
100%. Ideally, we want to get both, but if you asked me to pick what you wanted, I would say the Premier League all day long. We've waited that long for it. Do you know what I mean?
It has that feeling of a special day, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully, miracles have happened, and if anything's proved it this week, it can happen this week.
But I think it's only Liverpool Football Club who sort of experience them things, and it does give you that belief today especially. Again, we can do anything now. That's the way you think.
So can we do it? 5 p.m. Is there a good chance?
We can do it.
We're going to do it.
We're just waiting on Brighton.
Come on, the Reds.
Just fans in confident mood. They believe a miracle could be on the cards again here today. We'll soon find out. OK, time for a short break. When we come back, we'll bring the details of the Liverpool 11 set to face Wolves this afternoon.
Get all the best build-up and reaction to every Liverpool game right here on LFC TV. Sue Smith goes behind the scenes to bring you the very latest from the Liverpool FC women's team.
Experience exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Liverpool's home games from the latest editions of Inside Anfield.
We take a closer look at some of the Reds' most memorable and significant European encounters in European classics.
The Academy returns to your screens with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at one of the most celebrated youth setups in football.
There's lots to be excited about in the month of May, here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go.
Good evening, you're watching LFC News, and here are tonight's headlines.
There was only one name on everyone's lips as they made their way home, and that, of course, was the new signing Alisson Becker, after the Brazilian goalkeeper completed his move to Liverpool from AS Roma.
Humble, embarrassed and very proud, the words of Sir Kenny Dalglish after he officially received his knighthood earlier today.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome along to LFC News, live from Anfield on a huge night for Liverpool.
For Jürgen Klopp's side, well, they arrived here in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday morning.
Liverpool confirmed today that the club is proceeding with the redevelopment of the academy site in Kirkby, with the intention to move the first team there from 2020.
LFC News brings you daily bulletins from Melwood and a live extended programme every evening at 5 and 6 o'clock. Plus special programmes to bring you exclusive club news first. LFC News. Be in the know.
The players have arrived at Anfield for the penultimate game of the season. These games just get bigger and bigger. A Champions League final to come. Today, it's all about the Premier League. The title is still up for grabs. Yeah, welcome back to Matchday Live. It's Liverpool against Wolves in the Premier League today here at Anfield. The Reds could still be crowned champions. As you just seen, the bus is here, the players are here. Let's get the details of the starting lineup today from our man, Peter McDowell.
Thanks, Rob. Taking a straw poll of the people passing by in the press box and just outside us here in the tunnel. They all believe that the impossible is possible. Perspective has been a key word, hasn't it, this year? Perspective probably skewed out of all reality with what happened here against Barcelona the other night. But that perspective is that Jürgen Klopp took over a team that was 10th in the Premier League in 2015. He led them to 2 European finals, and the third is just a few weeks away. And we are believing that potentially there could be a 19th league title that could come back to Anfield here today. So much of it is out of our control, but what is in the control of Jürgen Klopp is what kind of team he picks, and it is the strongest available to him. I think you would all agree. Mo Salah back in the starting lineup, also a return inside that midfield for Gini Wijnaldum, the goal-scoring hero from the other night. So just to confirm then, 2 changes, and it means that Salah and Wijnaldum return to the starting lineup. Alisson in goal, who's played in every game. What an opening campaign it's been for him in the Premier League. 50 games and 20 clean sheets. Could become a record today, and it could be one that claims the Golden Glove for him as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson, the 2 full-backs, 11 apiece now in terms of assists. Don't forget, goal for Liverpool came on the final day of last season. It would be a great way to cap another wonderful campaign if he could do the same again. Matip and Van Dijk, the 2 centre-backs, Henderson, Fabinho and Wijnaldum in the midfield, and then it's Salah, 22 goals. It's a 2-goal cushion, by the way, for the Golden Boot today. Origi, who scored 3 in his last 2. He scored for us in every game he's played against Wolves in as well. And also Sadio Mane, who is chasing down Mo Salah. He's on 20 goals, 16 Premier League goals already at Anfield for this season. Mignolet, Lovren, Milner, Gomez, Sturridge, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Shaqiri make up the substitutes bench there today. And worth remembering also, we haven't lost a game on the final day of the season here since that dramatic game against Arsenal. The most dramatic in my lifetime anyway, that 2-0 defeat in 1989. Let's hope for more drama with a much better ending than that. It could be an afternoon of holding on to your hats.
Thanks, Pete. Well, that is the Liverpool team then. we had worried because of the injuries that are kind of built up what kind of team we'd have today. It was actually a pretty strong lineup for this final Premier League encounter. One man to pick out, perhaps, Gary, Jordan Henderson, a real captain's performance of late, but in particular on Tuesday night.
I think so, very much so the case. I think I was doing commentary in the game and I didn't think he would have lasted the full 90 minutes. In fact, I didn't think he would come out for the second half, to be quite honest with you. And I think it just epitomises what he's all about. I think a few injections at half-time, a little bit of treatment, and he was back out, and you would never have known that he was kind of really struggling after he actually got that knock. So, and his performances have been really, really good for the last month or so. And that new role that he has, that attacking role, that I think it suits him a little bit better. He's got a great engine, good box-to-box kind of midfield player, and I think he's thriving on that. And I think it suits him. I think he's a far better player, and I think the Liverpool fans are beginning to see the real Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, we saw right at the final whistle, players drop down. Henderson, who has got this incredible stamina, this incredible engine, even he was spent. Every sinew had been exerted in trying to get that result. It was an incredible effort from him and the collective group.
Well, absolutely. I think you just wonder if that'll take its toll the weekend, obviously against Wolves today. Hopefully it won't. I think there's so much to play for that I don't think that will be the case. But to exert that much, not just the physical exertion, but the mental approach as well. And I think sometimes mentally you can get a little bit drained as opposed to physically, and that really is like a problem. But hopefully the staff have worked on them. I mean, as I say, the trophy at the end of it is something to give them like the impetus to go and put all that behind them and get on with the job in hand. And hopefully we're looking for a good game. Again, Robertson as well is another one who's obviously bit the bullet a little bit. Not sure how quite fit he is, but in saying that, he's a 100.
It's only pain has been the message they've bandied around the dressing room. That can only take you so far, I guess. But
yeah, and he's just one of these guys that wants to play every game. So I think the team is what the team is, and I think we're more than capable of getting the result against Wolves. But we have to approach it in the right sort of manner.
One of the themes of the season is when the first choice, if you want to call them that, players haven't been available, others have been brought in, and Jürgen has got a tune out of them. They have contributed. They've contributed in a big way at times, and no more so than Divock Origi. He's in today. What does he bring to the side? What has he convinced us of over these last few months?
Well, I think first and foremost, you don't achieve anything with just playing 11 players on a regular basis. It is a squad game these days, and very much a case where you've got to rely on everybody to pull their weight. And I think, give credit to Divock Origi. I think his reputation has gone through the roof, hasn't it? Because every time that he's been asked to deliver, he's come up with the goods. I think he's got a good record against Wolves as well. I think he scored 3 goals or something like that against Wolves, so he might be the man for the occasion again. And all credit to him, because there's a couple of chances. Certainly the first one was a simple one, but the second one, the fourth goal, it wasn't an easy finish, that, and he put it right in the top corner. So all credit to him, and we'll be looking to him again today. Be interesting to see if he plays through the middle or whether he'll play down the left and put Mane maybe through the middle. That might be an interesting one. I'm not sure Jürgen Klopp really is convinced that he's a centre forward. I think he might like him on the left hand side, so maybe we'll see Mane going down through the middle.
In terms of Wolves, we haven't really touched upon them, but they are good on the break. Are we in a good place because our centre halves, our defence as a whole, have good pace, good recovery ability within them?
Well, the defence in general has been very, very good, and then we talked about Alisson earlier on as well, which I think it certainly helps to have a massive goalkeeper behind you. But I think Wolves have troubled the top 6 teams. I think we beat them 2-0 earlier on in the season, but obviously lost in the cup down there. So they're no mugs. I think they've had a fantastic season, first season back in the Premier League, and I think they've been absolutely sensational. So the manager is a good manager as well. They have them well organised, but it's about how Liverpool go about their business, and I think we can't think and dwell too much about what Manchester City and Brighton are doing. I think you've just got to get the job here done first and foremost.
And options on the bench, should we have to go chasing it? Sturridge, Shaqiri, and nice to see Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So Jürgen has something to turn to if he needs an ace up his sleeve.
I think you've got alternatives as well. The 3 that you mentioned there, I think Shaqiri again played at midweek. I thought he played exceptionally well. I think Daniel Sturridge, as I've said often enough, if you give him the right opportunities in the right areas of the pitch, then he's still a proven goal scorer. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back after that long injury, we don't want to put too much pressure on him, so maybe a little cameo performance at the end of this game, if we're in a good position, might help him as well. But he certainly has that ability, more like a navigator, to run at defenders and cause defenders problems. And so we have, we'll have alternatives. And I think as a manager, from a bench, that's exactly what you want.
Oh, can you imagine Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain off the bench to score the winner for the league? It'd be good, wouldn't it? Okay, well, the week gone by has treated us to some incredible moments from all over Europe. We've been astonished as teams pulled victories out of nowhere. Liverpool certainly played more than a fair share in creating memories that will live forever. All Jürgen Klopp wants now is for his men to create just one more.
It was a week I'm not sure of miracles, but of big football moments, and from our point of view, there could be a big football moment for us as well on the weekend. It would be nice. Nothing changed really. We knew it before. It's all good. I think most of the people expected me to sit here today and say, okay, after not being in the Champions League final now, it's pretty difficult to become champion. Now we are in the Champions League final. It's still difficult to be champion, and so that's how it is. And but the only thing we can do is to win the game. And in this situation, obviously, it looks like Wolves and Brighton are only like, well, they're there. But City will win and we will win, and then at the end City is champion. But we have there's the game to play, and Wolves with ambitions, because they showed the whole year real ambition. They enjoyed their football. They are 7th in an unbelievable competitive league. Nuno's doing an incredible job there, and so that makes our game pretty difficult. And on the other hand side, Brighton. Yeah, what can I say? It's their last home game in the Premier League season. They know now they will have another one next year for sure. And how I know this team, they are full of joy for football, so they will try everything as well. So both teams have to win their games. That's what I want to say. And that's not sure in that moment, and so we have to focus on that.
Wolves, your final opponent, you could hardly have more difficult opposition, because they're better against the top 6 sides than they are the bottom 6. They're better when they have less possession. They play with proper wing backs. So, they really are a talented team away from home.
Oh, yeah, generally talented team, yeah. But of course, it's a big challenge when you are developing. Then you create one style of play, what Nuno obviously did, and then. Immediately in the Premier League, you realize, the other one is not on the same level. So, like creating, having possession, passing around, but they are not bad in that as well. They have Moutinho in midfield, Ruben Neves in midfield. Whoever plays with the boys there, change a bit. They don't go. Whoever. That's just quality. But what they have, the quality is big. But what they have, they created really a style of play where everybody. It signs in. All the players want to be part of that style of play, so they could play. I think that's pretty rare, but I think apart from 2 or 3 games, they played exactly the same 3 players in the last line. The whole year, it's unbelievable. So that's really rare, and they have good spirit, good match plan. It's just good, and so that makes them obviously. Yeah, but now we don't play the first time against a team who's really good in counter-attacks. So if we have and we play, then that's normal. That we have to take care for that, and that's what we will do. And we will be prepared, I'm sure.
Yeah, if anyone can inspire Liverpool to the title, it's that man, Jürgen Klopp. OK, time for a short break. More build-up to come live from Anfield. Can one of these names hanging in the dressing room wall make themselves a hero today and fire Liverpool to the title? Back soon.
Get all the best build-up and reaction to every Liverpool game right here on LFC TV. Sue Smith goes behind the scenes to bring you the very latest from the Liverpool FC women's team.
Experience exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Liverpool's home games from the latest editions of Inside Anfield.
We take a closer look at some of the Reds' most memorable and significant European encounters in European classics.
The Academy returns to your screens with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at one of the most celebrated youth setups in football.
There's lots to be excited about in the month of May, here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go.
Good evening, you're watching LFC News, and here are tonight's headlines.
There was only one name on everyone's lips as they made their way home, and that, of course, was the new signing, Alisson Becker, after the Brazilian goalkeeper completed his move to Liverpool from AS Roma.
Humble, embarrassed and very proud, the words of Sir Kenny Dalglish after he officially received his knighthood earlier today.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome along to LFC News live from Anfield on a huge night for Liverpool.
For Jürgen Klopp's side, well, they arrived here in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday morning.
Liverpool confirmed today that the club is proceeding with the redevelopment of the academy site in Kirby, with the intention to move the first team there from 2020.
LFC News brings you daily bulletins from Melwood and a live extended programme every evening at 5 and 6 o'clock, plus special programmes to bring you exclusive club news first. LFC News, be in the know.
It's his passion and his work rate never to surrender. That's Jamie Carragher.
Self-belief, a phenomenal ability to score goals. He could see opportunities that others couldn't.
Fernando Torres, when he was at his peak, unplayable.
Sami Hyypiä as a player, very professional, always fighting. He was very, very good.
He could score a goal, could put a great ball into the box. He was near enough to complete all-rounder, but certainly from an attacking point of view, Macher was the best dribbler of his generation.
Steven Gerrard was a force of nature. He just tore into games with his personality, with his strength. He was just a winner.
Very, very quick. Ability to create stuff from out of nothing. Michael Owen knew what he wanted to do and he went out and did it.
Character, desire, passion, leader, he had everything. Louis could come up with a bit of magic at any point.
The sun's shining at Anfield. Well, he's probably not seen Liverpool win the title. She definitely hasn't. Could today be the day, though? Okay, welcome back to Matchday Live. More to come from the guys' pitchside shot. But first, let's get the details of the Wolves team, set to finish 7th in the Premier League this season. They arrive at Anfield now, looking to spoil the party. Peter McDowell has details of their starting lineup.
Carnival atmosphere that surrounded most of today, and certainly all of the atmosphere since Tuesday night. There's been barely a mention of the opposition, who happen to be Wolves, and they have taken more points than any Premier League newcomer since 2001. So Liverpool certainly in for a game today. That much is certain. More than safe. Europa League football, and the rest of it will mean that they will want to put on a performance here. And also the manager knows his best team. He's picked it on 14 Premier League occasions this year and does so again. So it's an unchanged Wolves lineup, and they go with the 2 wing backs and 3 centre backs as always. Inside there, Connor Cody, who's played every minute of every Premier League game this year, might have only made 2 appearances for Liverpool, but was at the club from a very young boy, and will be a Liverpool fan either side of this game here today. Matino, Ruben Neves, who will be the big danger where set plays is concerned, led to 4 goals for Wolves so far this season, alongside Leander Dendoncker, Jota and Raul Jimenez up top. They've taken 16 points in their 11 games against the Premier League's top echelons this season. They will not want to go out with a whimper here at Anfield this afternoon.
Yeah, welcome back. You may have noticed we've been joined once again by Jason McAteer. Note to self, next time we're booking Phil Babb. Thanks for joining us.
It's all right. I've just been sitting with Phil Babb, actually.
Have you? Yeah. Enjoying the sun?
Yeah,
I thought we might have been.
I thought I'd go and meet the lads and see how they were and stuff. I actually got told I wasn't working.
I thought it was probably getting in. After your little excursion outside with Rob.
Not with that.
That's it. Okay, let's get back to business. It's a big day. We're just in the Wolves team. It's basically as strong, Gary, as we would have expected, and a dangerous lineup. They've proved that through the course of the season, and they've troubled some of the bigger sides this season.
Yeah, I think they play that 3 at the back. I think when you look at the side, it's very, very much the same week in, week out. There hasn't been a lot of changes. I think Connor Cody has played every league game this season. But I think the threat up front is the one like Jota's been a real good signing for them. Jimenez alongside him have scored quite a bit of goals. And the midfield's strong. The midfield's got a good balance of energy in the wide areas and good technical ability in the central areas. So they're a match for most teams if they play well. But it's Liverpool's job and duty to not let them play well and obviously take the game to them. And if Liverpool do that, then I think we're more than capable of getting the result. But they have caused the top 6 teams an awful lot of problems this season.
Yeah.
Jimenez's got 13 league goals. He can be a threat. I just wonder how Conor Cody treats today. Jason, he's the captain of Wolves, he's a local lad. There's a lot of focus on him, isn't there? There's a lot of focus as scouts at the heart of that team. A lot of the talk was on, how will he cope with this? How do you think he will be feeling going into today?
It'll be tough for him. But I think Conor will feel he's got a point to prove. He's changed position since he's gone to Wolves. He's now, in that central area of a back 3. He's the leader, he's the captain. And it's been a brilliant season for him. But his heart was probably here. He grew up here, through the academy, and got a taste of the first team action. Didn't quite happen for him. He's probably got a point to prove. He's done an article this week that's saying, there's no sentiment in this game for him. He's going out, he's going to do a job, and hopefully he can get a result for Wolves. In saying that, that's all the right things and what you need to say, obviously, because he's employed by Wolves and for the fans. But deep down,
well, you found it hard coming back here, didn't you, after you left?
That's what I was going to say. Deep down, he'll find it hard coming back here. It's. When you're a Liverpool fan and you play for the club, a bit different for me because I played in the first team over the 4 years. He was on the fringe of playing, and I left a lot of close friends here. I left a Liverpool team I felt was very close to winning the title, and a new manager come in, and it wasn't for each other. It wasn't for me, and it wasn't for him. So we parted company, and it was an upsetting time for me. A bit different for him. He was released, but he would have felt that he might have got the opportunity, but he mightn't have got the chance to show what he had. But he might feel he wants to show today that it's Liverpool's loss. But he's had a great time since he's gone to Wolves.
Gary, you touched upon the 3 at the back, the formation they play. Is that one of the challenges in facing Wolves? Not many teams in the Premier League line up as Wolves do and play as effectively as they do. The fullbacks have been really dangerous this season for them.
Well, I think a lot of teams sometimes do play 3 at the back, but they don't play it on a regular basis. I mean, this Wolves side have played this sort of formation right through the Championship last season and into the Premier League this season. So they're kind of rehearsed in what they're doing. They understand and appreciate each other's movements and where they're going to be on the pitch. And I think the balance with the 3 centre backs is quite a good balance as well. So I think, Liverpool playing against teams often with 3 centre backs and tore them apart. But I don't see this Wolves side getting torn apart too many times with any team, to be honest with you, because they are good defensively as well as the danger that's going forward. Not scored an awful lot of goals, but defensively I think they're quite sound.
I agree with Gary. I'm a big fan of 3 at the back. Wing backs, obviously playing that position myself. It's not something I think you can drop in and out of. I think you've got to know how to play it. There's got to be an understanding between your centre halves, your 3 centre halves, the wing backs, the holding midfield player, and plus the offensive players ahead of you know where they've got to go when they haven't got the ball. I think it's something you have to work on, playing that system. Gary's right, teams do drop into 3 at the back now and again. They'll get away with it now and again. With this team, Espirito Santo, he plays that all the time. They know their jobs, they're disciplined, they're organised, but they've got that flair and they've got chances created and goals in them to hurt teams. I think it's been a fantastic season for Wolves. I mean, apart from Ipswich, who amassed the most points, this is arguably the best team to have come up.
Yeah, it certainly is. They almost made it to the FA Cup final as well. OK, let's grab a word with the Wolves boss now. And despite his side already securing a 7th place finish, Nuno Espirito Santo is as keen as ever to get a result this afternoon. He says it's business as usual.
The plan is right for every game, for every training session. This is what we want to. This is the idea, the philosophy. Every moment of your life is important. Prepare yourself for the competition. Of course, it's a big game, and we want to play it.
Jürgen Klopp has done a great job with Liverpool so far this season. From an opposing manager's viewpoint, what do you think of his work so far?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I like the team, the way they play, the intensity they put in their actions. I think it's hard to find someone that doesn't enjoy, and someone didn't enjoy the game against Barcelona. Was fantastic, amazing.
You're guaranteed to finish in 7th no matter what happens in this final game. So by the measures that you set yourselves then, what would you rate your season?
Good. We had, we knew that since last season, the idea that we had, we wanted to keep with the same idea, no matter what level we were. We were in the Premier League, we stick with the same. There were bad moments, but we were able to bounce back. That showed the character of the players, and we be able to compete in a quite good way against tough opponents, but with our own idea. So we did good, and we still are inside the competition, so we still have to go till the end on the same standards.
Yeah, the thoughts of Nuno Espirito Santo. Okay, we'll take a short break just now. When we come back, we'll have more build-up to today's game. The players are out in the park. Can one of them make themselves a hero today? We're back soon.
Good evening, you're watching LFC News, and here are tonight's headlines.
There was only one name on everyone's lips as they made their way home, and that, of course, was the new signing Alisson Becker, after the Brazilian goalkeeper completed his move to Liverpool from AS Roma.
Humble, embarrassed and very proud, the words of Sir Kenny Dalglish after he officially received his knighthood earlier today.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome along to LFC News live from Anfield on a huge night for Liverpool.
For Jürgen Klopp's side, well, they arrived here in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday morning.
Liverpool confirmed today that the club is proceeding with the redevelopment of the academy site in Kirby, with the intention to move the first team there from 2020.
LFC News brings you daily bulletins from Melwood and a live extended programme every evening at 5 and 6 o'clock. Plus special programmes to bring you exclusive club news first. LFC News. Be in the know.
Get all the best build-up and reaction to every Liverpool game right here on LFC TV. Sue Smith goes behind the scenes to bring you the very latest from the Liverpool FC women's team.
Experience exclusive behind-the-scenes footage from Liverpool's home games from the latest editions of Inside Anfield.
We take a closer look at some of the Reds' most memorable and significant European encounters in European classics.
The Academy returns to your screens with an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at one of the most celebrated youth setups in football.
There's lots to be excited about in the month of May, here on LFC TV and LFC TV Go.
Welcome back to Anfield and to Matchday Live. Gary Gillespie, Jason McAteer, pitch side with me still. We'll have more from the boys shortly on what is the final day of the Premier League season. It has been quite a campaign thus far, though. Let's take a back at how some of it has unfolded.
completely free and scores in style.
What a season it has been. Some incredible moments along the way. So many to talk about. Let's try and focus in. Let's try and do positive and negative. Let's go worst case scenario, Gary. If it doesn't happen today, at what moment along the season did we lose grasp of it? What do you think may have cost? Is the result that stands out a game?
I think that's a difficult question really to answer, to be honest with you, Matt. I mean, I think if you amass 97 points if we win this game today, and like we're looking at areas like in the season where we've lost it, it's a tough ask.
I could think of Leicester at home as maybe a game, or the Everton, Man United, West Ham draws maybe.
There was that period where we had the opportunity to go 10 points clear, didn't we, against Man City? So if you're looking at areas in the season, well, that automatically is the one area that you would probably highlight. But I think that really is the nitpicking. I think to go a season, how many games is it now? 38 games, and to only lose one game possibly and not win the league, and then highlight where we lost the league. I think it's very, very difficult. That's very much a media kind of thing. I don't think.
I know. Do you know what I will say? I completely agree with Gary. I think it's wrong to talk about the negatives of this season, because you look at Manchester City. If they win today, they've amassed 198 points over 2 seasons. That's phenomenal. Have Liverpool lost the City? Well, of course, because they haven't won it. It's very difficult to put your finger on it. What I would say is that Manchester City game, for me, that was probably the defining moment where if we'd have won it, I think we would have had one hand on the trophy. And I think psychologically, I don't think Manchester City would have come back from that. And I think we would have gone on. We didn't. We lost the game. We, the lead went, it got shortened. We held on and held on and held on. And then we got ourselves back into it, and we were back in the title race. And we are where we are today. I think it's wrong to talk about negatives on today's season, because I don't really think there is any.
Well, leading on from that, I'm going to go to the positive now. If you had to pick out... Oh, thanks. Pick out a moment of the season so far. Is there something that stands out? That is a more difficult question.
You know, when you win a title, and apart from this lot that steamrolled every year, the title is won by elements of luck.
Gary's nod in there. That was
well, it is. I mean, they were so dominant. But there's been, apart from last year, Manchester City, every team that's won the title has probably had a bit of luck along the way. And you look at, if Liverpool win it today, you would look at them moments as being the Everton game here. Mahrez missing a penalty, a couple of handball decisions, or a couple of penalties that have gone our way. Manchester City have had the same. You know, it's been one of them phenomenal seasons. It's been an absolute roller coaster, and it's been brilliant. We should be saluting both teams for what they've done. You're asking me one moment?
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
Barcelona for me would be the game, would be the one-off game.
What about a man or player of the campaigns? Is there someone who you think has made a key difference this season, Gary?
Well, first and foremost, I would always say that, like, to get to this stage of the season and where we are at this moment in time doesn't take one single individual performance throughout the season. I think it is a collective. But for me, the standout player has been Virgil van Dijk. I mean, I don't recall too many defenders being in a situation where, you know, one-on-one situation, he's unbeatable, to be honest with you. I think he's just like, you know, he's been absolutely a colossus. Not just his ability playing-wise, but the organisation as well. The goalkeeper behind him has been pretty good as well. So, as I say, an individual point of view, I think you look at the defence, especially this season, haven't conceded an awful lot of goals. I think that was one area of the pitch where we were a little bit lacking, and he's certainly put that right.
I'm gonna agree with Gary from a playing personnel, but I'm gonna give the manager the utmost respect, because we finished, what were we, 18 points last season away from City, something like that. That's a massive gap. That's a massive gap. He's gone into the market, he's recruited well. There's always a gamble. No matter how much money you play, there's always a gamble. He's recruited really well. He's then sat down and thought to himself, how can we get closer to City? He's changed the formation. He's gone 4-2. No, he's gone 4. What did he go? 4-2-3-1. And then 4-2-3-1. Yeah. So he's tinkered with both formations, and he's got the result, and he's got them within a whisker of winning this Premier League title. The players go on. They've got to execute his plan, of course, and they've done it fantastically well. But He's the one who's got to come up with the master plan. And if we don't win it, he's almost done it. If we win it, he's a genius.
It certainly is. What do you think will be the key today then? What can he eke out there?
Patience. Patience is the key today. In some ways it's a bit easier for us because, you know, we can win and still not win the league. Manchester City can only throw it away, can't they? It's in their hands.
I think any time you like in a pressure cooker like this, I think patience is always key, and I think that's one thing that the fans will probably get to learn, that you can't just go out and blast teams away 4-5-0 every game, and especially not this Wolves side. So I think patience is key today.
Okay, and more for the boys to come. Let's head back out though. Rob's got someone else to join him. He's with another former league winner in Ronnie Whelan.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Plenty of these Liverpool players looking for title number 1 today. The man to my right has just a 6 to his name, Ronnie Williams. Still sounds good, doesn't it? 6 league titles.
Look at the Irish, I suppose.
Doesn't it? 6 league titles.
Look at the Irish, I suppose.
I think it's a lot more than that. 25 points Liverpool finished behind the title winners last season. How have they closed the gap this time around?
Oh, God, it's hard to say. A lot of very, very good football, a lot of understanding between the manager and his players, a lot of very good usage of players by the manager, different positions, give them rest, get them all ready for big games, and a growing confidence within the squad that they can match the likes of Manchester City and get up to the same or very, very close to the points that they need to get ahead of Manchester City.
You can play like champions. How significant is it to have the mentality of a champion, and have Liverpool got that now?
I believe they have, because they've showed over the last few weeks that in the nitty-gritty part of the season where you've got to grind results out. If you want to stay with the likes, again, I'll say Manchester City, because they've been brilliant, Manchester City. But for Liverpool just to be that little bit behind them going into the last game of the season, it shows a great steeliness within the squad, and it shows that the players are ready for these occasions, and hopefully they can bring one last win here today.
Take me through their mindset then today, from the moment they woke up this morning to how they're feeling now. What is it in your gut, in your brain as a player on a day like this?
I would go further back to trying to sleep last night, because it's these games.
Was it a struggle?
Yeah, it's these games that get to you. I used to take sleeping tablets, so it wasn't too bad. I'd sleep from 11 o'clock at night to 11 o'clock the next day, which was good. But everybody does everything different. You know, some of them will get up for breakfast, some of them will stay in bed till lunchtime, and they have their meal then. But you'll have the nerves, and you'll have the nerves last night, and what's going to happen. Well, you will say, just forget about Man City, but you don't. You'll be thinking if they can draw at Brighton or lose. You go through all the permutations on your own in bed at night. You try and get as much sleep as you can and be ready the next day. I'm sure everybody is ready and raring to go for that one last push now.
And that's what it is, though, one last push, because the mentality has been so strong, because it's felt like neither Liverpool or Manchester City have been afforded a mistake since maybe the turn of the year. Since they lost at the Etihad, they've barely put a foot wrong, and nor have Manchester City.
Well, Liverpool have got into themselves in a position with 2 games to go that they could become one of the greatest teams to ever play for Liverpool Football Club. If they lose 2, they'll be remembered for a very, an excellent season where they've come runners-up in both competitions, Champions League and League. Hopefully they can go the way we want it to go, and they win both those games and then become an immortal team in Liverpool's history.
Ronnie, thank you very much indeed. Plenty of fans milling around in Paisley Square behind us here. Some of them will never remember watching Liverpool lift the league title. It could be a first for some supporters today, and some of the fans have been speaking to Sam Ashu once again.
What's your moment of the season and why?
The moment of the season so far has to be Tuesday night. I mean, we went in thinking, well, I always believed we could do it. And then at the end, it was probably my best moment ever as being a Liverpool fan for 38 years.
Origi against Everton. And why? Because had he not scored that, it would have been, that season would be over, wouldn't it? As it stands now, that's it. I mean, if they slip up today and we do the business here, that's it. League title, happy days, happy days.
Salah scoring the goal against Chelsea.
I personally enjoyed the 5-1 against Arsenal at that time of the year. It was sort of a statement.
We have supported Liverpool from we were small kids, and being here also today is fantastic.
You're very emotional about this, sir. It's a big day for Liverpool fans, isn't it?
Yes. It's a very big day. The biggest day of my life.
I'm going to ask you to sum up this season in one word.
I think passion. I think Klopp's brought passion to the club and the fans, and he's really turned it around. And he's turned us from doubters to believers.
Unbelievable, incredible.
One word, memorable.
Proud.
Out of this world.
It's epic, it's fantastic, it's marvellous.
Just fantastic, exciting, fantastic and exciting. I know that's 2 words, but there you go.
Summing this season up in a single word is not easy. Okay, time for a short break. In a moment, we will hear from the man that Gary has picked as his player of the campaign so far. That's right, our dominant Dutch defender, Virgil van Dijk. We'll hear from him when we return.
Good evening, you're watching LFC News, and here are tonight's headlines.
There was only one name on everyone's lips as they made their way home, and that, of course, was the new signing Alisson Becker, after the Brazilian goalkeeper completed his move to Liverpool from AS Roma.
Humble, embarrassed and very proud, the words of Sir Kenny Dalglish after he officially received his knighthood earlier today.
Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome along to LFC News, live from Anfield on a huge night for Liverpool.
For Jürgen Klopp's side, well, they arrived here in Charlotte, North Carolina yesterday morning.
Liverpool confirmed today that the club is proceeding with the redevelopment of the academy site in Kirby, with the intention to move the first team there from 2020.
LFC News brings you daily bulletins from Melwood and a live extended programme every evening at 5 and 6 o'clock. Plus special programmes to bring you exclusive club news first. LFC News. Be in the know.
Wheeler scored it! Brilliant goal! Ian Rush, 1-0 Liverpool, brilliant goal! Marvellously made by Alan Hansen. Spooner, Lawrenson!
Welcome back to Anfield. The stadium is ready and waiting for today's game, and things have gone up a notch in the last couple of minutes. Wakefield's Saturday Night, a certain Divock Origi song, has got everyone in the mood for today's game. Okay, well, Virgil van Dijk has had plenty of praise piled on his shoulders so far this season. PFA Player of the Year. He's played in all 37 of Liverpool's league games so far. What does he reckon of the team's chances in game number 38?
Comes the Salah towards Van Dijk. Brilliant from Liverpool. Brilliant from Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk with a header, and he simply could not miss. Van Dijk's there again and scores again. Three-header goal. Virgil van Dijk completely unmarked. The big man for Liverpool.
Last home game of the season, so let's just give it all, and we'll see what's going to bring us.
How has the week been? It seems like it's a great atmosphere as ever down here, even more special after what happened on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was obviously outstanding. It was amazing. It was a special night, and we all enjoyed it. And I think the day after we all enjoyed it as well. But obviously we're going back to work. Sunday is going to be a big test for us again. The last home game, what I said before, and we want to show what we've been doing almost the whole season and get the 3 points no matter what. And Wolves have been obviously outstanding throughout the whole season. Fantastic team, fantastic manager, and it's going to be very hard.
As you allude to there, I think most people, because of Liverpool's fantastic home record, are expecting it will be straightforward, but they've put up a hell of a fight against all the big teams this year.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think when we played there, it was tough as well in the Premier League. I think I scored my first goal there, and yeah, so it's going to be hard, and everyone can talk about what's going to happen in Brighton and stuff, but we have to focus on our game. We have to try and get the 3 points no matter what. If we do that, then we'll see after the game what's going to happen in Brighton.
You expected another fabulous atmosphere like it was the other night. Is that the most special you've played in your time as a Liverpool player?
I think as a player anyway, I think it was unbelievable. Especially obviously with the celebrations after was something that I will never forget in my whole life, and hopefully we can go all the way. It's going to be tough, but yeah, I expect a great atmosphere this Sunday, of course, as well.
Yeah, Virgil's been some player for us in what has been an incredible season. How will it end? Gary, for it to go our way, what do we need to do here? What is our approach to this game?
Well, I think you've got to first and foremost treat Wolves with the utmost respect, because I think they deserve that in the season that they've had. And you can only affect what you can affect, and you've got to win the game here. And we'll wait and see what happens down on the south coast. I'm sure if there's any sort of result happening down at Brighton, the players won't need to know that. The crowd will tell them without a shadow of a doubt. But first and foremost, you have to concentrate on winning the game against Wolves. And as I said before, that's not an easy task. So, as I say, that's it. Simple.
Is it try and blinker everything out, Jason, to a certain degree? You know, when you hear the stars.
Yeah, you've got to. I mean, the results are going to have other games are going to be coming round. You're going to wait. You've just got to focus. Like the other night, you've got to not play the emotion of the crowd. You've just got to focus on your job. And like Gary said, the one word you've got to do. It's easier said than done. To win.
An early goal here, though, Gary, would help, wouldn't it? Because that would filter the flip side down to the Amex on the south coast.
Well, I think it certainly eases the pressure as well. But we've been in this game long enough to know that one goal in the Premier League is never quite enough. You have to follow that up and really get that second goal just to take the edge off it. Because I think Wolves are more than capable of scoring. So, I think it sends a message. How much Man City will be looking over the shot? I don't think so. I think they've been in this position before. Pep Guardiola has been a seasoned manager. They won't be looking towards their result. And again, it'll be similar to them down there. The crowd's going to dictate. They're going to let you know. I mean, the noise already here. We're struggling to hear ourselves. And we're like, a yard apart. So it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere, and the crowd will certainly help today.
Tremendous atmosphere here. We've had a miraculous week. Can there be one more miracle?
Why not? Why not? We got one. I don't want to be too greedy because we had one the other night, but if it's going to give us one, I'd take it.
Let's not get greedy, but we'll take one if we can. The atmosphere is tremendous. Gentlemen, thank you for your time here down pitch and what could be a crucial day in this club's history. And that is us done for now. Audio commentary on the way on LFC TV next. We will return after the final whistle once the drama has unfolded. Neither side has blinked so far in the battle for the Premier League title. Will today be the day that Man City's nerve finally falters? Will this be the day that the league title returns to Anfield? Don't lose your faith just yet. With this team, anything is possible.